Thank you for tuning in to the Broken Knock podcast. This episode is brought to you by Jim Shorkey Toyota of Greensburg. For the best car shopping experience around, go see our friends Brian Moore and Ryan Halterman. There's no other dealership that's going to make you feel like family the way that Jim Shorkey Toyota of Greensburg does. Elite Archery, offering quality bows at all price points, whether you're looking for a women's bow like the Allure, the new flagship Artis, a long draw bow like the Exalt, or even a traditional recurve bow like the Flex. If you're in the market for a new bow, Elite should be at the top of your list. Finish outfitting that Elite bow with quality products from Scott, CBE, Slick Trick, and Ultra Arrows. These brands produce quality products that help encompass all your archery needs. Rupert's Roost and Peace turkey calls and Rut and Peace deer calls. You won't find a higher quality game call or someone as passionate about making calls than Rupert. Noom Outdoors, quality hunting clothing with versatile camo patterns to help you blend in no matter what terrain or animal you're hunting. Use code BROKENKNOCK20 for 20% off your next order. The Outdoor Call radio app. With a vast library of podcasts, this should be your go-to app for all your interests in outdoor podcasts. Tune in on Wednesdays to catch our episodes. Apparition Scents, our go-to scent brand during the hunting season, boasting a wide variety of scent products from scent control to supplies from ox grapes, all made locally. Lastly, Creek Archery, your one-stop shop for all of our partners' products. Our family-owned archery shop will make you feel right at home while shopping for all your hunting needs. Stop in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays from 5 to 8 p.m. or Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get into the episode.
Now, as far as... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, as far as the scanner, even when I first got my thermal, I could only afford a scope. And, as Darren, he had a scanner at first. So with the scopes that you can buy, you can actually connect them to your cell phone. Mm-hmm. And that's how I actually scanned for coyotes, was with my gun on the tripod. And I had I bought a mount for my tripod and just had my phone there, and then I would just scan with the gun. Now, You can see just as good, but it just not the quality image of looking through a scanner. Right. But you're definitely going to pick up heat, a coyote, a deer, or whatever. And then once you do see something, you can get in the gun, and that's where you can really excel to see what you got.
I have a buddy that hunted with me. He hunts with me all the time. He hunted with me last night. He has a scanner, a hand monocular that he spent probably $2,000 on. He barely uses it. He has an iPad. He has on his. He can't see it. He can see better from that iPad. So he puts that iPad on his tripod, and he just sits there and just turns the stock. Whatever works for him. It would drive me nuts. But
yeah,
that would be you, so you could actually see.
Yeah,
so
you need
a big old iPad.
Because that is a big thing with if we took you out, you haven't. I mean, you're looking at your phone in the dark room, and then you take it away. You're blind.
Blinded, yeah.
Well, that's the same thing with these all night long. You're blind when you take your eye off of that thing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's if you're not used to it, it does mess with you a lot. But once you wear these things, you get pretty used to it.
Yeah,
thing's not coming off.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a pretty cool looking setup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, can you hook, I guess like GoPros and that to these things? Will it pick it up, or like if you want?
They film themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they record themselves.
So is there SD card slots and that in these, or
there's an internal memory?
Okay.
So I connect.
Plug them in.
No, you can plug them in. Yeah, but no, you normally just you just connect it. It has its own Wi-Fi signal it puts off. So then you connect to that Wi-Fi, and then you go into the app. That would be Infra's app, and this is the same for other thermals too. You just connect to their app, and then download your pictures or your videos from there.
Wow.
It's pretty quick too. Like
same thing with the scope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the same way as you live view it through that app. And it's spot on. You start moving, it's spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Huh. So you guys do a lot of tournaments?
No.
Just
Nope.
mainly just go out and you don't get into too many of them?
No, it's we as a team, we signed up for our first one this past weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Something that we don't really do a lot. There's a lot of them around. It's just we enjoy hunting way too much to bring stress into it. So it's
Right.
it's never been really appealing to us to hunt a tournament. But there's a really, really cool tournament. It's called the Jurassic Coyote Tournament out of Cambridge, Ohio. It's a Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, and PA, and it's a really, really well-run tournament. They try to mitigate the cheating and all that stuff, and it's a really, like I said, really well-run tournament. You have so many options. Not only win, you don't have to go in there and win. The winner brought 28 coyotes in. We ain't competing with that in 2 days.
Holy crap.
2 days.
In one
Crazy.
state, I guess he's not going to tell you, but
I don't know what he did.
well, that's a hell of a lot of coyotes.
That's a lot of coyotes.
Yeah, whatever his secret is, that's crazy. But we can't compete with that. But we knew going into it, we could compete with the heavier dogs because, we have big coyotes here in this area.
Yeah.
I never really realized it. Definitely was an eye-opener going out there and seeing almost 600 coyotes come through the weigh-in and seeing the size of them. But even at that, you don't have to place at all. You don't have to win heaviest. You can go out there and win a thermal or a night vision scope or a suppressor or a tripod. I mean, they did a bunch of giveaways for the kids. The kids aren't even in it. They're just coming with you as a door prize. He won a tripod as a door prize.
Oh, that's cool.
Last year they gave away, it was 32 suppressors as door prizes.
Holy cow.
Wow.
It's so
Wow.
we'll go out. It's not stressful to us. Last weekend we went out, had a lot of fun. No sleep at all. Chased them all weekend long. It was rough on us because we hunt pretty long into the night, but we don't do that.
So, when they do something like that and they hold that tournament, do they have designated properties for anybody that registers to hunt? Where
It's up to you to hunt your own.
Oh, it's up to you to find
land.
your own.
You can hunt anywhere: Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, or PA. You have to hunt in those states.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the tournament's out of. It used to be, I believe, Kentucky used to be in it, but they weren't in it this year. So it was just those states, and then you have to be able to drive. You have to be there. What was it? 1 o'clock Sunday.
Yeah.
We had to
weigh-in.
be in Cambridge for weigh-ins.
For weigh-ins.
You have to be there by 1.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool to see. You
Yeah.
know, it's a different environment from what we're used to because it's just us.
Yeah.
You know, talking about coyote hunting and chasing them every night, and that's what them boys live for.
Oh, yeah.
We pulled into 5 lines of trucks. You just get in line. Those 5 lines eventually merged into 2. The 2 lines eventually merged into 1. But we sat there for 2 hours to get up to the scales to get weighed in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's a lot of
it's a
coyotes.
process.
Yeah.
But like Darren said, the tournament was great. It was run absolutely.
I don't know how they run it so smoothly with
best.
that many
That's good.
people. And
Oh,
there's
that many
much.
states
it's
too.
just
It's
chaos.
not like it's one place.
Well, it just never stops either.
Yeah.
It's just, that you've had. I mean, you figure you got 211 teams of 4-man teams. If they were all 4-man teams, at 800 and something people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so that's.
Yeah, that's a lot to organize.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Imagine following someone like you guys, if you were the 28 coyotes and you're taking them all in the back of your trucks just
Well, they were definitely heaped up.
Dude, it's,
And that ain't listen. It wasn't just them. There's the other team that got second place. These 2 brothers, they do it. I think it's every year they place or not win it. They showed up with 22 coyotes. The other people, I think it was 19.
Yeah.
Was third.
yeah.
Still.
Right.
That's-
Yeah, absolutely.
That's stacking some
That's a
fur.
crazy and not to mention. Here's the thing: is it's a skill in itself to be able to call the coyotes in and know what to do to get these coyotes in. But when you're killing numbers like that, you're a good shot.
yeah.
You know, it's all about being a good shot and being comfortable behind that gun because you don't know how many people we talk to through Messenger who's messaging us, hey, what am I doing wrong, that miss coyotes. These things are hard to hit. They're tiny.
Right.
You know, it's not, that's a big thing that's overlooked is being comfortable with the gun. And them boys out there are comfortable with their guns because
Yeah, you'd have to be. And like you said, you got 10 seconds
I
to
missed a
figure it
chip
out.
shot last night at 100 yards. And
Yeah.
these guys are putting 28 in a truck, man. It's impressive.
Do you have the stock trigger on that, or is that an aftermarket trigger?
No, that's you don't have to do nothing with that trigger. It's adjustable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's adjustable on the fly too. You could just right
Okay.
there under the trigger.
Nice.
There's a little Torx.
Okay.
I think it took right around 2 pounds.
Oh, that's perfect.
So I
Yeah.
don't anything. Actually, 2 pounds is
Little light.
That's When I put it at 2 pounds, I made sure I shot with it a little bit and was like, this is light.
Yeah.
He wants to do the countdown 3, 2, 1. He always shoots on 2. Now I know why.
3, 2, bang.
Yeah.
Terrible at that.
That's funny.
You lucked out though, and we did that this weekend for the tournament. We had 2, and we counted down. He shot his, I missed mine.
Really?
You were like,
It
it's my turn to
happens.
go on too.
Well, I actually the first night I was fortunate enough to shoot the first dog, and Darren just happened to be standing beside me, and I'm like, "You want to shoot first? Go ahead." But I'm on the second one, and
I was like,
you know,
I'll count it
gotta try
down.
it.
3, 2, pow. There goes my dog running. He's like, I got mine. I'm like, yeah.
It happens.
Few choice words.
Hey,
for
you
'em.
can't. I see people get busted up about missing. You can't get busted up about it. They're tough. You got like 7 inches to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What would be like a good night for you as far as numbers? I mean, obviously, sky's the limit, but like on average, if you went
That's
out.
what we noticed this weekend. We don't hunt as long into the night as people think. Like we don't wear ourselves out when we go out. We go out, we have fun. We put probably 8 stands together. If we kill 3, 4 coyotes, that's a really good night for us. If we hunted the way we hunted this weekend, I don't know what the numbers we could put up, because we hunted triple the amount of properties in one night than we do in a night.
Yeah.
And we really covered a lot of ground. I bet you we could put, if not, we could double them numbers, if not triple. I think we really could. It's just some nights you go out, we see coyotes every place we go. Some nights you go out and you got coyotes. You just had them on camera an hour ago. They're there. They don't answer you. They don't show up.
I imagine it's got to get like addicting. So like when we would
Absolutely.
go bow fishing, I would relate this the same way. We go out there, we get out there, and we're trolling those banks looking for carp. And you say, we're just going to go out for 2 hours. Next thing you know, the sun's coming up because you're like, just go another 100 yards.
Well, yeah, when we
Get one more.
when we
I mean,
went, it was like,
I'm real
oh
good
man,
at-
it's over. Like,
They want to kill me sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, one more.
Right.
But it's always that last one. Sometimes it change the whole night. You might not. It only takes
Exactly.
5 seconds to change that whole night from a dry stand or dry night to a really good night.
Yeah.
Because, a really good night for us, if we kill one, that's a good night. We're happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're out
absolutely.
there having fun, man. It's we're not out there to put numbers up. I'm not trying to. That 1 year, I set a goal at 100 coyotes. That's why I pushed and killed 105.
Yeah.
Now, there's
It's
no
like
goals.
whatever. Yeah.
We go out and have fun, and
Yeah.
that's the most important thing to it.
So do you find it hard to get properties to hunt, or
I did at first. For years I was going around putting miles in and getting turned down a lot.
Yeah.
Once I think the videos started coming out locally, people started realizing how many coyotes are here. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of we don't do no door knocking anymore, really. If we do door knocking, is if I come to your place, I'm coming to look at your place, and I'm like, I got no property around it. I'll be like, hey, how well do you know your neighbor? Because if I'm hunting your place and your coyotes are over at your neighbor's, it'd be nice. It's another one of those, what we were saying earlier about a trigger. Another trigger to kill a coyote is if you're having coyotes hang up on you, you can't get them to come in. Close the distance. Move on them. That's another trigger. You're just
Right.
moving into their territory. That's another territorial trigger. So we do try to door knock then. But now how we do it is I've got a ton of land over the years. He's got a ton of land over the years. I don't hunt his properties without him. We alternate them like that, and it keeps them pretty fresh.
Yeah.
The coyotes are always moving. Just because you have permission on one property and there's coyotes there, we'll go there, but they might be 2 properties over.
That could be 2 miles away.
That black coyote, we have pictures of him on our camera, and his buddy's parents live
2 miles, probably
at
2 to 3
least,
miles
and
away.
he has those pictures.
Oh.
Same, we sent him pictures. He's like, oh yeah, my parents have pictures of him on their camera.
Yeah, they're constantly on the move.
They're constantly moving.
Until I'd say they get in the ground with the pups.
April it shuts
and that's
down.
where when you start hearing them, then they're going to be there.
So April's when they breed?
April's they're breeding now. Valentine's Day is your peak.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so they say, mid-January is your peak, or mid-February, sorry, is your peak. But, I mean, yeah, right now they're breeding. They have their pups. They're going to be in the ground come April. That's when it's really tough. April's a tough month to hunt them because a lot of your coyotes are underground. So, you're going to try – you kill a lot of males around then. Females are back at the hole, and the males will go out and – scavenge for food and stuff like that and bring it back. Kill a lot of lone males around that time, but even then it gets pretty tough around the month of April to do some calling. Still hunt, but I basically, that time of year, I only hunt when, landowners will call me or, lead me on, because at that point, I'll just let them go do their thing, and then come, end of May, I'll deal with my turkey, go turkey hunting, and after turkey hunting, I get back into the coyotes. And by that time, you can't tell that pup from an adult until you kill it.
Right.
And you walk up on it, you're looking at its teeth. They come in just as aggressive as their mom and dad do.
Doesn't take them long to figure it out.
No. That's what my buddy asked me. He's like, what happens if we call some pups in? I'm like, we're going to shoot them. And he was like, are you kidding me? I was like, Aaron, I'm not shooting a pup that's this big. I can't do it. I'm a dog lover. I love my dogs, and I could never shoot a pup. A coyote, I couldn't do it. I'm like, you wait till you see how big it was. June at the time, and we called a pup in that night, and we walked up to it. I said, look at this. And he's like, you kidding me? They're
pretty big
probably
at that point.
Probably a 17 to 20 pound dog at that point, and a month and a half old.
Yeah.
Now, whenever the males scavenge and bring back, what would a pup eat that gets them to that size for the most part? Is it just rabbits?
So of course they're feeding off of the mama at first, and then that male will go out and it might drag half a deer or something back. But don't quote me on this, I'm no biologist, but they say that they regurgitate food. So the males will come back and they're eating regurgitated food, and I don't think it takes them long to start chewing and gnawing on stuff. Come September, end of September, October, they're getting their canines and adult teeth and moving on their own, hunting on their own, killing on their own. So it's a fast process. It really is.
So do they mainly hunt by themselves, or is it like a pack thing with them that, like, you've seen these videos of them like attacking like full-size deer?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do hunt and kill in packs, but they're definitely out. A lot of our coyotes are by themselves.
Okay.
So most of the time
we see a lot of coyotes
they're just singles.
There might be, like, we pull onto a farm, come end of summer, they might be, you've been, because that's one thing, like he said, come after April, if you hear them coyotes in, just say June, down in this hollow, chances are they got a den right there within 100, 150 yards of where you heard them. Mm-hmm. Chances are there's a den down there come end of July, August, they're going to be right there. They're not, if you don't go ahead and push them out and go pester with them too much, they're probably going to be right there. Mm-hmm. So like come September, a lot of them dogs, like, that's why, like, from September through October, November, them dogs are splitting off by themselves. So yeah, they'll be feeding by themselves then, because they're establishing like a pecking order and kicking, like, come the same thing as the deer. You hate seeing it, but the does will start beating the fawns in the head over some. Yeah, they're kicking them out of there before they go get bred. That's the same thing with the coyotes. Mm-hmm. They're going to split up.
So it's kind of like nature's way of like inbreeding.
As soon as they split up, they start
happening.
It's just a revolving cycle. As soon as they split up, it's like, end of January, they're starting to. Now they say that they don't. Go ahead.
I was going to say there's different periods throughout the year to where you'll call in more single dogs versus a pair of dogs versus a group of dogs, and that I want to say August, September, October, things can really ramp up when you hit the call nuts. Because that's when you have the most coyotes out there.
The most coyotes are on. They're not. The disease or hunters or trappers haven't killed them yet. So the most coyotes are out there in the summer. That's my favorite time to hunt them. Nobody hunts them in the summer. It's my favorite time.
Yeah, you get a lot of response. It's a lot of young dogs.
Yeah.
But, it's just kind of like going fishing. When the stock truck comes and pulls out, you're probably going to do pretty good.
Yeah.
When the hole's fished out, things become tougher.
Yeah.
We've shot, me and him, what was it, 4 that one night in like a minute.
Yeah.
Wow.
all on top of each
insane.
other. They just kept coming to the same dog.
Jeez.
Just kept dumping them right there.
That's crazy.
We were talking about the food aspect a minute ago. So I have a hunting lease out in Illinois, and we run a lot of trail cameras out there, probably about 40. And
Yeah.
in June, and Darren can vouch for this because I share the pictures with him all the time, that is when we see more fawns that the coyotes are packing. And whether they're taking them back to the younger coyotes or what have you, that's when the bean fields where these particular cameras are, it's either beans or corn. Mm-hmm. And I got to assume those does go out there to have their fawns. And there's one camera that I can guarantee you is going to have 3 or 4 fawns coming through in a coyote's mouth every year.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yep. And it's always in that June time frame. And that's when I see a lot of coyotes out there. Now, I run more cameras there because I don't run any here because that's where I do all my deer hunting. But, I got to assume the coyotes are the same here in PA as they are there.
Yeah.
I did just get to hunt somewhere 2 weeks ago, I think. It's a I don't know what you want to call it. It's a high fence whitetail hunting place. It's like 350 acres fenced in. Then the outside has 600 acres that's not fenced in. They had me come out. They're having coyote problems. They had a coyote. This is crazy. I've never heard of nothing like this, but the deer are fenced in. So they had a coyote get in. It was there for 2 years. They couldn't get rid of it. They couldn't kill it. It killed 47 deer.
One coyote did?
One coyote.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, how big's this coyote?
It was there for 2 years, and then another one got in, and that's when they brought dogs in. They brought people with dogs, and they come and killed it. I don't know how big it got, but he lost. I mean, think about the money he's selling.
Yeah.
His
47 deer.
These deer. I've never seen a deer with my own eyes like this in my life. It was like 220 inches standing out there, just a freak of nature. Not normal. It's a high fence deer.
Yeah.
But like he said, he was like, it would just. I mean, they would corner these deer and it would. And the thing is what people don't understand is coyotes are killers. I said, how many do you think it ate? He said it probably didn't eat 10 of them, I swear. He said every one I found, it wasn't eaten. It was just killed. It was just going around killing.
Huh.
Wow.
So he just invited me to come back out in 2 weeks when we went up there. It was a really cool experience. I was real excited. I thought I was going to hunt coyotes inside a fence. I'm like, I never wanted to hunt inside a fence in my life before, but coyote hunting inside a fence sounds fun. So I get out there, and I was like, and I told him, I was like, do you have, property on the outside? And I was like, if the coyotes aren't here inside anymore, I'm not going to be able to call them inside the fence.
Right.
So ended up, hunting outside and stuff like that. So we're going to head back here in a few weeks and see if we could take care of a few more for him. But it was pretty interesting to hear that, 47 coyotes in 2 year period. And that's the thing is people don't understand is they're killers is like us trapping them. A coyote doesn't always just kill something and eat it right away. 9 times out of 10, they bury it. And that's what we're mimicking when we're trapping them is making a dirt hole that a fox or coyote has went and buried something. They mark their territory. They,
Right.
piss or shit right there and mark their territory. That's what these things do. They're killers. And they people don't understand. They literally will just kill and leave it there and not even eat it. They'll bury it.
The fox are
leave
just
it.
as bad as the coyotes.
Yeah.
Fox are the same exact way.
Yeah.
Huh.
I can give you a little story on a fox this spring. It was right around April, and there was a pair of fox in my neighbor's yard, and didn't think much of it, but other than they probably had a den over there, and that's where they had the kits. And sure enough, ended up being 3 little pups, and when they got a little bigger, they took the neighbor's chickens out, and they had about a dozen chickens. Well, then they tried to get to my chickens, and the fox were killers. I will say that. So we had to do what we had to do with the fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They wiped out a lot of livestock over 3 farms right around us. So the fox will wreak havoc on the smaller critters, turkeys,
Right.
rabbits, what have you. I'm not sure. I'm sure a fox could take down a deer, but
There's a video. I have it saved on my Facebook. It's a fox. It's somebody with thermal filming a fox running a deer just in circles, running it. this deer gets so tired it just lays
lays
down.
down.
Yeah.
And the fox starts ripping on its neck, and then the guy shoots it. It's a really cool video.
Yeah.
I always save it because I've never personally seen a fox even
On a
chase a
deer.
deer.
Yeah.
Right.
I've had bobcat in an archery season chasing deer all around me, but I've never had a fox chasing. So I did save that video because it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you would wonder what would drive that. Like, I mean, would it be hunger for the fox, or just like you said, just because they just kill? Like, it's just the instinct to kill.
instinct.
Just the instinct to kill. And then, like, a lot of people don't realize is like coyotes and fox too. I mean, I don't know for sure, but coyotes definitely. They're probably the best animal in our woods of PA that like it's conserving energy. They know that they don't have to run as fast as that deer is. They know they're going to run that deer ragged until all they got to do is keep using their nose and just following it.
Right.
You know, they'll just conserve their energy, trotting behind it. If they can, they'll start nipping the ass of it, and you know, they're. It's crazy that they know where the femoral artery is on animals, but you know, once they get it to bleed, then they got
That's
a blood
it's
trail.
over,
They,
yeah.
They just wait.
Right.
they
yeah.
just know how to conserve energy so well, and that's why I think like. And I could be wrong, but this is just another personal opinion. I think, you know, people get really excited for like a cold front to come in for coyote hunting. You'll see it on Facebook, like people, oh, this cold front's coming in, especially fall leading into winter. You have like some really cold, you know, coming from 45 degrees down to 25, something really drastic like that. I don't see the hunting being real good right away at that because I think these coyotes are conserving energy. You know, the first 2 days, I always say it's like you could need a good week of that real cold temperature to really put these coyotes in, you know, a deficit of calories or something where they got to start going out and moving around because it's sometimes we go out and hunt these real cold snaps and we don't see nothing.
Right.
Or like a cold front coming in, we don't see nothing until that cold front's been here for a minute, you know, or even deep snow. It might take a few days, and then the hunting gets really good, you know. So, but you got to think about it that, like I said, they're really good at conserving energy, so they might just be laying around. You know, I haven't really, like I said, I'm no biologist. It's just a personal opinion, but we are spending 5-6
You're
nights
just-
a
right,
week
you're
out
You're
there.
spending a lot of time in the
Yeah.
woods. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see a
We
lot of
start
different
figuring,
scenarios.
You know,
I'll tell you, I don't believe the coyotes eat as many deer as people think they eat.
Yeah.
'Cause number one, we as all hunters would agree that we just don't walk through the woods and see a bunch of bone piles
Right.
and
Right.
what have you.
Yeah.
I do believe that when the fawns are born, that is when most of the white-tailed deer are taken by a coyote.
yeah.
We see the interaction between deer and coyotes. They have every opportunity in the world to take a deer where they're at. We've seen them with cattle. We've actually saw coyotes laying with the cattle.
With the
No
cattle.
kidding.
Yeah.
Got up, stretched out, shook it.
Yeah,
Shook I mean, it must have been laying there for hours because when it shook all the water off of it.
I don't know if it was dew or
Yeah.
what have you, but they were definitely laying in with the cattle for a while. So as far as what they're feeding on, I would have to go with more smaller animals,
Yes.
your rabbits, squirrels.
You don't see too
turkeys.
many. I personally, I've never seen to where like deer have killed like a big, huge buck or something like that. Now there's a video on, or I think it's a Tacticam picture or something where like a big, huge buck comes through with a bloody butt and the
Yeah.
coyotes are in it. So it can happen. Why
Yeah.
can't it? And then, I mean, I think these coyotes can move really good in the snow. So I think they're really effective on deer because you see a lot of them chasing deer, like a lot of videos of them chasing deer in the snow. So I feel like that has something to do with it too. I feel like they can hunt this time for deer, for larger deer in the, you know, deeper snow and stuff
Right.
like that. But it's like he said, it's majority of fawns, and that's
Right.
what it was. All that guy that I hunted the high fence, they were all fawns that they were killing. But that's how many they lost. That's a lot of
It's
money.
a lot
for
of
him.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a ton of
Especially
money.
he's paying for more, you know, bringing them in.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
I've watched some of those deer auctions and that before. And it's crazy. I mean, those deer, depending on the who the mother or father is of the deer that they're auctioning off, it could be
The price
20,
tag,
30,
the price
40
tag
grand
of
a
his
piece.
the hunts. I'm like,
He's
I
probably
mean-
10 to 15 grand on his hunts. I bet, maybe more. Depends.
yeah, it's incredible, but it's you know,
Yeah.
people don't realize
Lot
what
of
killers
money.
them things are.
Yeah.
You wonder, like, if the coyotes, if they just play with the deer too, chasing them. Like,
Yeah.
you ever see
Like,
that
just
at
mess
all?
with them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. It's like, oh, you know, we're just gonna mess with these. Let's, like, you know, just put in a human perspective. Let's go mess with them deer over there, and then we'll get.
I mean that's their. I mean,
We
don't-
see them run through the deer all the time.
Yeah.
the deer's laying in the field, and we're calling coyotes. They got to come through the deer. Prime example, the other night we had 2 deer bedded in the field. The coyotes were coming down the hill, and the deer knew what was going on. They're looking up the hill, and they kept bouncing off of each other. And it was like, if the deer weren't there,
they were kind of screwing us up.
If the deer weren't there,
they were coming right
these
out.
coyotes were coming right in the field.
And they wanted to switch positions.
Yeah, it was just a small little field that we were in, but it happens.
Something cool you mentioned is that how you were talking about when the deer are in velvet, you can actually see their antlers.
Yeah, when
in
the
that
blood's
infrared.
flowing, you can see, all summer long we're hunting. It's really cool. You can see all the bucks out there in the field because of the blood. Now this time of year, they're hard-horned. You can't, unless you get probably 75 yards and in, then you could start picking up some really good detail with these scopes. But it's pretty cool in the summertime seeing all them big bucks out there being bachelored up in big groups and stuff.
So while they're in velvet, you can see it because of the blood.
Oh,
But then once they lose the velvet, then it's just
gone.
like watching a doe.
Yeah.
Never thought about that. That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So that leads me to a question then, and I should have asked Doug about this, the game warden, when we had him on. So obviously you're deer hunters along with being predator hunters. I'm sure you see, like you said, you see a lot of big bucks.
Right.
So when you're legally hunting coyotes.
Correct.
You're technically, to a point, could be scouting the properties for deer.
Hey, listen, I'm out there hunting coyotes. Just because I'm observing where that deer ran to, it's going in the back of my brain when that deer runs up.
Right. It's just I wondered about that.
I've also tipped some landowners off. I'm like, hey, he's like, you seeing that big buck? I'm like, yeah. It's been coming out of this side, I've tipped. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just like him walking out and seeing it. It's just, I don't know. It's he's not out there hunting it. It's just I know what part of the field he's coming out on, so he went and set a trail camera up there, and
Yeah, I was wondering about that because you are legally hunting coyotes. So if you see a deer, and you're not allowed to be out there after a certain time spotlighting deer.
right.
Right.
But if you were out there spotlighting
But I can tell you,
coyotes, it's legal. But if you
Right.
saw deer, what are you not supposed to see them?
Yeah,
I've always wondered,
you can't do
how the
nothing.
hell?
You can't do nothing about that. But I could tell you one thing. You're not getting that much information because if I come to hunt your property,
You're not hunting at night.
well, no, if I'm coming to coyote hunt your property, I'm only there for 20 minutes. So what intel am I really getting in 20 minutes? And what good intel am I getting? Because by the time I get my call out there and get back to the gun, I'm blowing a coyote house. So, what really good intel are you getting off of that? Because you're there for 20 minutes and you might spook the hell out of them. I don't. It's it's however you want to take it, but I make sure I take mental notes when I'm out there hunting around my farm
What's
or
cool
something.
about the deer is when you're walking in at night, like the deer are out. They come out at nighttime. And to see how they react with us, honestly, the only time those deer are going to spook is if they smell you. They know you're there. They can see you. They watch us walk in. They watch us walk out. But if those deer get wind of you, they're gone.
Yeah.
But in daylight hours, it just doesn't work that way. If we're walking into our archery stand, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new learning experience at night, watching how the deer react to us, how they react to the call, how they react to coyotes coming.
Yeah.
You're seeing them in their own natural environment.
It's been a game. It's been not a game changer, but eye opener to just see how. No wonder these deer getting killed by coyotes. They just walk right up to the call. I'll be having howling or fighting. They're just walking right up to it. Then in springtime, you put a fawn in distress on. Don't do that. You ran over by a deer.
Yeah. Right.
Mama
come
deer
right
does
up.
Does that fawn in distress only work certain times of the year?
I don't know. I've only played at that time. I don't play much prey distress, but
Play it in October, November.
I mean,
Well,
we just played it the other night.
we just played it the other night and it worked. Now,
yeah, they make a fawn distress call to use for deer hunting. I've seen them work.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, You blow that call at the right time, and there's doe in the area. They're coming like now.
Yeah, I've been
100 mile an hour.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know what was coming at me. I was up the mountain. I'm hunting. I put the call out, and what was it? We moved on these. That's what it was. We moved on them, and like I was brought up earlier with why I use prey distress as like a coaxer. I just wanted to throw something different at these coyotes. They were there. They didn't smell me. I didn't know. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get them in. So I moved on them. Well, when I moved on them, I put that call out and put that deer in distress, and I heard something ripping up through the woods. I'm like, here we go. This is the whole pack. No, it was two different deer, two different does coming at the same time up out of this hollow. I thought they were going to kick my call over.
When they got fawns, they get real angry.
They do. They get aggressive.
Yep.
I have
pretty crazy.
There was a cool video from this past spring. I was walking, or I got out of the truck and I was setting up, and I hear a fawn, and it's 10:30 at night, and it's just going nuts, and I'm like, hurried up. I knew. I just had a feeling. I was like, it's a really good spot for coyotes. I was like, these coyotes got a fawn down here. And it did. I was like 30 seconds too late. I get down there, and the mom's chasing that thing in circles. And it was really cool. I shot the coyote at like 15 yards. And the mama chased it right to me, and I was like, yo. Just yelled at it, stopped it, looked at me, and thumped it.
Nice.
And that mom was just like, had no clue I was even there. She had no clue. She's just like, what the heck just happened?
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, them deer are protective, man. Mama deer, mama cows too. We have to worry about cows. That's what I told you the other night when we were walking.
They climb all over that call.
Really?
For whatever, yes.
Yeah,
If you're in a field of cows and you put that call out, and there's no fence for them to get to that call, they're probably going to come to your call.
That, and we also got to be careful. Like, we don't deal with it too much. Majority of the cows around us that we hunt are pretty tame and pretty docile. But there's one field we went in the other night. I was like, let me get ahead of you because I got chased. I looked back behind me. There's like 20 head of cattle wide.
Dude,
chasing me out through the field.
I've been there in archery season before. It's kind of freaky. I was walking through a field. I think all they wanted was fed. But it just like freaked me out because there were some bulls out there.
Yeah,
and like
That's
I'm
what was
walking, and at first they were just looking at me. Then they decided to start walking towards me, and then the faster I walked, the faster they got. Finally, I'm running, like I'm getting the hell out of here.
Could you imagine turning around and seeing him running from
That'd
cows?
be a sight to see.
Dude, I'm telling you, you don't want to get hit with one.
That's how when we were the one property that my dad and I were antelope hunting on in Wyoming. There was cows that would do the same thing. Like, they would kind of follow the truck, obviously, feed, they know the hay and stuff like that. But you'd get out, and they just start walking up to you, and you just keep walking, and they just follow you.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, we got to get out of here because the antelope aren't.
Well, my wife hunts with me sometimes, and I got a farm, close to the house, and you literally, these cows are like the most docile cows I have that I hunt around. And I just didn't think nothing of it. I was like, I got intel that there was some coyotes over there. So I was like, you want to go with me? She's like, yeah. We start walking through, and then it dawned on me. I'm like, you walk. Literally, these cows never get up. They just stay laying down. And you walk, they're right below you. You just walk right past them. They don't budge. And we're walking right through. We got up, set the gun up. She was like, "You're driving the truck out here." She was, not happy. They're really docile, but it's for her. It's pretty scary when you're walking past an 800-pound animal at night.
Oh yeah.
We don't use lights, so we're walking in. I'm using that thermal. She's not seeing nothing until it's 5 feet from her. And she's like,
I'm in any heart attacks.
She's just walking right behind me. But yeah, I didn't realize it until we got there, and she was pretty scared. But
I could imagine.
Yeah,
they freaked me out when
Yeah,
yeah, you gotta watch them.
Yeah, you do.
What I don't know. I'm trying to think if I got any more like questions on that aspect, like the deer and.
I do think it would be really cool. Like I brought up earlier when I was talking to you about the deer, and the population of deer in PA is, the farmers are complaining about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really think if they would legally come up with something to let these farmers, get a hold of thermal or hire, what are they calling the snipers, that come in these rural areas and take deer out. Thermal being this clear and being this good, to the public now and to the hunter. I think they could, if they made, made some sort of law up for, you could really make some of these farmers a lot happier, because I know there's a lot of farmers in PA that are not happy right now with deer population, and it's going to come to the point where we're not going to be able to coyote hunt anymore because they want.
That's a good point.
That's very true.
So if you have, like my neighbor, for instance, he has 2 farms. Bob, I don't know if you've ever been to his place.
Straight
across from me.
I kill coyotes.
So he's got that farm that he lives at, and he's got the other one down the road across from the ice cream shop from Brewster's over there. He wants everything dead, except for his cows. I mean, that guy he don't give a shit what you killed, just kill it all.
That sounds like most farmers.
Yeah.
Is that the guy? Is that the next farm? Maybe it's the next farm over from there. Does he have the propane set up? Is
with
that
the cannon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's him. Okay.
Yeah. He's because at first I thought it was the gun club, because the gun club's on the other side of the highway.
until you're out there at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but that was him. That was him. That cannon. And he was doing that to keep. I think he was keeping the bear. There was 2 bears running around over there, so he was trying to keep them and the deer out of the corn, which he uses to feed his cattle. So he wants all the deer dead. Now, I would imagine. Now, him personally probably didn't give a shit if you come kill all the coyotes and birds and everything else too. But I would imagine it's got to be hard to get a farmer to want to agree to allow you to kill the coyotes, because technically,
not right now, but it's going to get there.
You know what? I want the coyotes around so they take the deer population down.
It's going to get there. It's that's
so like you're saying with the thermals and that. Then if there was programs out there,
if there's a program out there
for red tag farms,
I was going to say something like a hybrid red tag or something that you can get.
Yeah, I mean,
something that they could limit and not open it to the public or whatever. Just have a private,
because you could be really effective
or something.
Right. I mean, especially we're shooting suppressed. We're shooting these coyotes. I'm dropping coyotes 10 feet from deer, and the deer are picking their head up, looking over, and going back to eating. So, I always said, if they would do that, a prime time to do that would be in them summer months when you can really, tell if you want to, manage your property or whatever. You could tell that time of year if you're shooting a little spike or a buck or something like that. I just think if it's something for them to look at in the future, I think it would be a really effective way to take care of a population.
Yeah,
like that, because you could you walk on a field in July and see anywhere from 100 to 200 deer in some fields around here.
Yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't be off the table. I mean, because I know with. I did hunt red tag on Bob's farm. He'd give me some tags one time to go out there, and I didn't realize, with it being my first time I'd ever done it, that you have to use a rifle, which was crazy to me. That it's, being a bow hunter. I mean, I wanted to take my bow out and go out and set up and kill deer, and I had to take the 30-06.
Yeah.
And so like you said, what you're proposing there is the same thing. It's just it's at night. It's going to be more effective.
It's more effective.
Way more effective than me walking out there in the middle of the day with a rifle.
Yeah.
Yes. It's I mean, it's not fair to the deer by any means, but at some point we're talking them, population control and stuff and helping these farmers out at that point.
Yeah.
That's a whole different aspect of looking at it, but it's by any means, it's not any form of hunting, but it's mitigating an issue. It's
right.
Yeah, interesting.
Plus, like what we were talking about earlier, and what you mentioned was, if you've got a 140-inch buck standing out there in your infrareds, hunting using that, we'll call it that hybrid red tag.
Yeah.
So you're able to not make that mistake.
And
as easily,
There's other states doing it, because it blew my mind. I've got onto some of them thermal pages and seen, they'll show a truck bed full of 4 deer at night. So there is other states doing it. I've seen the one guy. Remember the cows? He had to go shoot the cows. Yeah, there's one guy. He's well known too, and I'm like, what did you just do? He's like, but he's shown the videos and everything. Like he videoed it. Him going, and there was cows that got loose, and they had to shoot them.
That's
and he's got permission to go shoot him. And that's what I seen a video of a cow getting blasted in the head, and I'm like, what? But no, it was legit. Yeah,
wasn't expecting that in that video. Yeah. That's one of them videos you scroll past and it just catches you completely off guard.
It definitely did. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, another thing I thought of, is there ever been, you know, like you have these drone companies now. Are you allowed to use drones for coyotes? No.
No, I don't. I wouldn't think so. I can't answer that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder
Specifically, I just know you're not. I don't think you're allowed to use drones for hunting at all in PA yet.
No, you're
for
not.
Any aspect.
Right now, I know. Like there's drone recovery in places like at the find.
Right, you're not allowed
to find a deer.
Well, you're not even. I don't think you're allowed to even do that yet in PA with thermal drones.
You know, at our lease in Ohio, you can.
Yeah, in Ohio, but not
Ohio's
PA.
legal.
I don't think
So I
PA's
guess in general, I was wondering if there's. I wonder if there's any states where you could use drones to
They do.
locate coyotes.
Oh yeah, they do. There's a lot of people out there with thermal drones. They're pretty sweet. I'd love
Yeah.
to have one of them things.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of people making some cool content with it too. They're like flying the drone up and then calling the coyotes in and
yeah, that's
some cool.
See, that's what that I'd be into that.
almost like A-10 Warhawk stuff, just kind of flying over
Yeah,
while
it's
there's
pretty crazy out there.
Maybe that's what the hell they were doing in New Jersey. You know, with all the drones flying around.
Yeah.
Coyote.
coyote hunters.
Yeah, but no, that's another thing too. I think is going to be really cool once they introduce it as the thermal the recovery side of it. That's going to be huge for the thermal market too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see why they don't pass that. Just recovering.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're leading into the same thing with these. It's just they talk about like using it for the wrong reasons. Well, guess what?
Thermal's here.
The thermal's here,
You
and
could
you
use
could do
that
a lot
for the
worse
wrong
with
reason.
that thing right there than you
Absolutely.
can with that thermal drone.
I've always been one that I believe outlaws, and they're going to be outlaws.
They're going to be.
They're
going
going to do it
You ain't doing
regardless.
nothing about it.
Yeah, they are.
Whether you legalize it or not, they're just if they want to do it, they're going to do it.
Yep.
Yep, and they'll figure out ways to catch them. That's all.
Yeah,
And that's it.
100%.
These guys aren't dumb.
No, I do. I agree with the whole thermal drone thing. I think it'd be really cool. I mean, it sucks for the people running these dogs and training these dogs, but taking money out of their pocket. But same time, if you could find an animal that you put down or wounded, that's what it matters to me.
That's what matters
100%.
most is the recovery of a wounded animal.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you can't find.
And it provides an additional option too.
Right.
It's like because when the 1 year we were in Illinois, it's like I cannot get a guy with a dog. One of the guys in camp shot a deer, and they were like they could not. All of the dog trackers were busy. Now,
Well, yeah,
If you
even
had-
when
if-
you shot the deer your first year out in Illinois, I'm sending him like lists of people, like call this person. He's like, I can't get anybody.
yeah, no.
Wow.
And then if there's capability, if they were able to get drones, by all means do it.
Yeah.
It presents another option to get that wounded animal.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you should be able to, but there's
Different
for whatever
states have
reasons,
different
different-
regulations on
different
drones,
laws,
and yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms there.
Oh.
Flying in the air and them guidelines and stuff like that. So
Even the drones now that are picking the deer up. I saw a
Yeah.
video of one that was carrying a deer across
Really?
the
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh.
yeah, they're picking them, just hoisting them straight up in the air.
Yeah, some of
That's
those
what
are
I'm
pretty
talking
cool.
Bring
about.
it- bring
Last
it
year,
back.
I was in
Illinois,
in Illinois, yeah, the farm
they
we
were
were
spraying
hunting.
with a drone.
Yeah, that's probably the drone that actually picked that
It's
deer
about,
up.
dude, it's about
It's
the size of
huge.
like a kitchen table or something. This guy had 2 of them.
Yeah, them things are.
And he was on the property next to me, and I'm watching him fly these things, and I was coming back for lunch, and I said, I got to go over and talk to this guy, just see what the hell he's doing. And I went over, real cool dude, but I'm like, these are pretty cool. Like, what are you doing? And that's what he was doing, was spraying the weeds. And like on his property, there was a section that was real thick, and I think it was like multi-floor rows and shit. Not that he had this spray in there that he was using to kill certain weeds and shit that were in there he wanted to get rid of. And he just sit there with a control, it's remote control.
Yeah,
And
that's
this thing
cool.
would hold 80 gallons of solution. 80 gallons. I mean,
That is heavy.
yeah. I mean, figure if it's like water, 8 pounds a gallon. I mean,
Yeah.
you got 700 pounds of fluid plus the
Put
drone.
a seat on it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's going over, and he's just spraying a few acres, come back over, fill it. He was pulling a trailer that he had a spot for 2 of them, plus he had a full tank of solution. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it was. I imagine those things weren't cheap. I mean,
I'm sure.
We had a
I got to wonder though too, and I should have asked him. Like, what if you ever get to a point like you're hanging out with your buddies and you get drunk and like, hey, hop on that. How much do you weigh? Get on there. You know what I mean? Like start picking up stupid shit just to see if you can fly.
You
with
put
it.
tape a benzo on the end or something like that, and light it, and then just send it up, make like a drone flamethrower or something.
Get your hunter safety harness out.
Yeah.
Hey, let me pick you up with this.
Yeah. Oh Christ. Now
we had a
topic.
I was we were getting off topic, but hey, why not? I work for a general contractor, and we had a job downtown in the city, and we had to clean the side of this building, and we hired a guy with a drone. They pressure washed the side of that building with a
That's
drone.
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
they're getting insane though.
A lot of cool technology out there now.
Yep.
Yeah, there is, and even with the coyote hunting and my favorite time to probably coyote hunting, and now that I've gotten a little more successful with it, is probably the daytime. But man, it's just cool to go out there and use this stuff.
Yeah,
and just thinking back a couple years ago, like not even looking through thermal, knowing what it was, 5-6 years ago, and to now, it's just the technology has like grown so much, and like I said, just to be able to go out and use that thermal in the field and see what it does, like you wouldn't believe the amount of like chipmunks and the little tiny varmints that are running around at night. So much stuff that you see, it's just it's unreal. You don't miss a trick with thermal, that's for sure. You don't miss it.
When you talk about the technology side of it, we've been doing this for 4 years. When I was looking to get a scope, it was a 384 or a 640 was my two options. Well, 384 obviously was a little on the cheaper side, still good quality, get the job done. Then a year later, they came out with the 1280 from iRay. That was a $17,000 scope when it came out.
Shit.
But it was the only one of its kind. Now, that was, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And moving into this year from SHOT Show, from some new releases, there's some 1280s coming out that just
under $8,000.
Yeah, under 8,000.
So it just goes to show you what the price is doing with thermal. So when I said do your research and get a good thermal, it's getting better with the price.
And there's more companies in the game, so that's just driving the prices down even more because there's more competition.
Right.
Yeah, and the hunters, it's unbelievable the amount of people just in this area hunting with thermal now. It's incredible the amount of people that have thermal. I mean, as much property as we have, we'd love to keep it. It's just not. I mean, people got to understand. There's a lot of people that get mad. Oh, this guy come and ask for permission. Now he's hunting my property. Look, man, you got to get over it. It's
right.
We're all out here to enjoy the coyote
you're all
hunt.
sportsmen. You all want to have fun with it.
And a lot of people, they probably get mad at me because I got so many properties in this area, and so does he. We've got a lot of stuff, locked down. But you got to understand how long we've been doing this. It's not just because
we kind of got started early.
It's not just
when
because
thermal first came out.
Well, it's not even that. Like the amount of properties we had before thermal even come out with trapping and hunting with red lights. We've been in this game for a long time. Just because thermal, we just got into thermal 4 years ago. We've been acquiring properties for a long time doing this, and it's just you're gonna acquire them and you're gonna lose them because. That's the thing with coyote hunting. You can't have too many. It's not like a deer lease where you could have 7 guys sitting in tree stands hunting.
Yeah.
It is like, so if I get a property and somebody comes and starts hunting it, I mean, by all means, it's a landowner's property. He's going to do what he wants and gives permission to who he wants. But I have enough property where I step back, and it's not worth my time then because you can educate them very easily.
Yeah.
Very, very, very easily.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're very, I mean, people can say they can kill educated dogs all they want. There's some educated dogs. They make me work for it. They do. They're tough. They're not, really. It's a waste of your time when you could be hunting elsewhere and killing dogs in 15 minutes, and instead of spending 40 minutes with these dogs that want to bark at you because they're educated. Now we're dealing with that, in a lot of areas that we hunt just because we're getting surrounded, and it's just where we would go and might only hunt that place for, 3-4 times a year. It would be like a given. As soon as we go there, we hit the howl, we're going to have one. There's a lot of properties like that we have that we know, and now we're hunting them, and it's like the heck happened to this place? We know they're there. They're on camera. It's just they're
Dogs
getting
just got
pestered.
quiet.
Right.
It's kind of like turkey hunting. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
you can hear gobblers all across the mountain until turkey season comes. Everybody and their brother blows the owl hooter at them driving down the road or something to get them to gobble. And pretty soon,
Yep.
they just shut up.
Yeah.
You know they're there. But
Right.
They just don't talk. And the coyotes are the same way.
Yeah.
What's like the average age you think of these coyotes that you are killing?
I don't know.
As compared
would
to what
say
do you think
now-
would like the oldest coyotes? Like, is there any?
We've killed some pretty gnarly ones that have had. I can't age a coyote. We just look at their teeth and and pretty one that's had a few ice cream seasons behind its belt is have some fouled down teeth.
Yeah.
Some broken teeth. You could see some dental wear there. But we kill. I mean, I think with us, again going back to how many hunters there are, and as much as we are hunting ourselves and killing on the properties we hunt, I'd say a majority of them are probably 1-2 years old.
Yeah, they
But-
can't be that old.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see them. We hammer them pretty good on the properties we do have, so we keep check on the property, the coyotes that are local to our properties. But once we get up in the mountain range, like we have a lot of spots where we hit up in, once we go up in the Appalachian Mountains here in PA, once you get up there, the woods are so big, you don't know what you're calling out. And you don't know, the thing is, like down here, like our lowlands, we might have a dog in these patch of woods. I can tell like a week from now, well, they're either going to be here down the road 2 miles in this patch of woods. I could find them coyotes up in the mountains. If they're not on that property, who knows where they're at? And who knows how old they are coming out of them woods.
I just wonder, like what? I mean, they're dogs. So I mean, hell, I had a dog that lived for 17 years.
Right.
So
wonder what their
what
lifespan
could their
is.
lifespan technically be?
I'm sure it's not like your house dog. It's 15 years old, but I wouldn't doubt it that there's a 7-8 year old coyote running around.
That's my guess. Yeah.
That would be my guess. I don't know. But it's a good question. That'd be a really cool thing to like get on a collared coyote.
Yeah, is there anybody that like knows how to age them? Like, is there people out there that actually can?
I mean,
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's biologists and stuff that know how to age them. Probably by teeth and
Yeah,
stuff.
you
like
go
that.
by
go
teeth.
by the
That's what we
teeth
do
for
with
sure.
with dogs. You age them by their teeth. So I'm sure you can do the
Do you
same
have to
thing.
age them at work? Like, she works at a veterinary.
Well, no,
okay,
because typically people bring them in as a pet so they know when they got it. And not like baby.
I guess that's true.
What if he's a rescue dog?
No, so our
7
Great
years old.
Pyrenees, I have no idea how old she is. The people I got her from had no records on her. They told me that she was 10 months old when I got her, but she was full grown, so she could have been, who knows. So I take a guess that she's 7, and you can also x-ray like a dog and see bone wise, so we think we're right around that, where she's like 7-8 years old. So, but usually teeth is what you look at. But in my line of work, typically they could tell you how old their dog is because they went and got it from somebody.
So they don't ask.
I would like to know about their vocals too, because there's some places that we go that these dogs just got a deep rasp. And it just
Some cool
sets them
sounding
apart
coyotes.
from the rest of the coyotes.
Huh.
And there's a couple places that we go, and they're still there. Like, we've not called those dogs
Yeah,
in.
that's the smart.
Yeah,
That's the
and I
old-
got to feel like that's the old warrior, man. He
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
He's
He
been
knows.
there. We've probably called him in, and he's like, yep, there's Darren and Mike.
Yeah.
We ain't going
There's
up there.
that stinky son of a gun.
Yeah.
Well, you figure the black one, he's got to be. We have him on camera for 2 or 3 years now at least.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's-
At least. So he's. Yeah, that's right. Now that you're saying that, because he was popping up.
'Cause he was up at
He's
your
probably 4 or
parents'.
5 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it might be older. Why couldn't they? They're so smart.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
going back to what I said about conserving energy, they're eating healthy.
Yeah.
They're not eating healthy. They're eating good.
Yeah.
Right.
They're getting all the nutrition they need. So I mean, it could be more than 8 years old.
Yeah.
In an area where they can, but. I don't know anywhere in this United States that the coyote hunting has blown up across the country. It's really cool to see. It's huge right now.
Yeah.
It is.
Like, if you wanted to buy a thermal and get into it, and you didn't have the money to get something new for say, guys are buying one this year.
Selling.
They're selling it.
Same thing with the
Yeah,
Getting the next,
and the
like
cool
everything
thing
else.
is,
Yeah.
So you
some of
could
the
buy some
companies,
good used equipment.
Yeah, they come with
Is
a
there
5-year
Is there
warranty.
companies out there that sell like used?
Refurbished.
There's some people selling some used stuff. There's some dealers out there selling some used stuff. And the thing is, like, a lot of the warranties come with it.
Yeah.
And it's transferable. You know, a 5-year warranty is a big deal.
Right.
Somebody might even have a 6-year warranty out there right now.
Bearing
Is it bearing optics?
just, yep.
Like, that's a big deal because,
Right.
like Darren said, it's something could potentially happen.
That's
it's
number
a computer.
one thing I tell people to look for is warranty.
Yeah.
And not that they offer warranty, that they stand behind it.
Stand behind it.
You need to look in and look, because there's a lot of companies. Okay, your scope might break tonight, but you send it into a company and they have it for 6 months. What good's that?
Right.
You just spent $5,000 on a piece of equipment, and they're going to have it for a couple months.
Yeah.
IRA has a 5-day repair or replace and back to you once they receive that scope. And I've actually had to send my scope back on 2 different occasions, 2 separate scopes, for a minor glitch, issue, what have you. And they stood behind their warranty. I got it back in time. Scope worked perfectly fine. To me, that's a big deal.
So is there technically like a lifespan on a scope? Like, do they go bad? I mean, obviously they can go bad, but is there like anything up front? Like,
that's a good question.
When you're buying it, hey, this thing's only going to be good for 10 years.
It comes with an internal battery that you can't take out.
So
how long that's going to last, I don't
but,
know,
but
because
can,
I don't
but
think
can,
they've been out long
But can
enough.
the factory take the battery out and put a new one in?
Well, yeah, they can. But that's a good question, and because I've wondered that also, is because you see a lot of this, like this equipment like that has a computer in it, so it takes firmware updates. Well, what happened? Like, my question is, what happens when they discontinued the scope you have? So in 5 years from now, are they going to continue to make a firmware update for that exact scope?
Right.
That's what I'm wondering. It's not like buying a traditional day scope, so I don't know. That's a question that's going to be,
I would imagine it's got to be
Kind of like if you
like
don't
your
buy a new
phones.
iPhone for 10 years.
Well, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I had
It's gotta
an
have a
Apple
lifespan
Watch
on
that
it.
when I bought a new phone, it wasn't compatible no more.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
If someone was to, what would be your top 3 thermal scope recommendations, like manufacturers, we'll say? In the past,
I would say going from top to bottom. You mean? So
yeah, top 3. Yeah.
top being, I would say that there's a company out there. They make these scopes called Halo XRFs. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, but it is Halo. It's they're very expensive. It's like an $8,000 scope. That's probably, in the running for they've been holding the top-notch scope for a while. But IRA's right there competing with them. This brand here. There's a lot of companies out there competing. That they just dropped Knock Picks, which is basically IRA's company, I guess you would say. They're promoting it. They're a really good company. IRA is they've really stepped in probably a couple years ago and really changed the market and price. I think. I don't know if it's for the better for the consumer, because you buy a scope and then a year later it's $1,500 less than what you bought it for. So that's it hurts us. Is when you're sitting here buying these scopes and you go to try to sell them the next year or something like that. You really can't, because they're that price brand new on the website. So it is a really good. They make some really good quality products. But it's just like a bow, man.
Absolutely. It's not an investment technically.
No,
you got to want to like that brand, and it just works for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of good companies out there. Pulsar's a good company. Bearing Optics, AGM. There's some really good companies out there, and they're all comparable to each other. Yeah. I would just say that we have used IRA products for the majority of our career hunting with thermal, but we've also been around a lot of other thermals too, and we've been around some pretty crappy ones. I won't say no names there. I'm not going to mention no names of no brands, but they're just make sure if you're ever interested in thermal, just be prepared to spend money. If you're buying thermal, spend some money on it. Get something nice. Get something with a good warranty. And I don't know. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. No, that's I
think that's what people want to know.
Yeah.
They don't want to waste, go out there and spend $1,000 on something that's a hunk of shit.
And I think another thing would be like if you are looking at thermal at a scope, a base mag to your terrain that you're hunting is a good one, because there's a lot of scopes out there like a 2-power base mag, which it's just not. Like for us, I'm running a 3-power base mag. He's running a 3.5. That 3 to 4 seems like a really good for us, but I mean that might be a deciding factor too. Stuff like that.
So when you say base mag, it's one magnification power.
Well, that's what it's.
That's its bait. Like
you have a 3x9
the minimum
day scope.
Yeah.
Your 3 would be your base mag. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't sure if those were.
When you go to zoom on this scope. So when I'm looking at my 3.5 and 7-power, and I go to zoom, it actually cuts your resolution in half.
Right.
Of that
Okay.
640.
In half. Wow.
So it kind of takes away from that picture quality a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does with like a 384 unit, because you're cutting a 384 in half.
You're basically cropping it.
Yeah. So it does affect it. So we don't try to zoom too much with these newer, like that one. It has a really good quality. I can get away with zooming on it. But before, when I was using like 384, I wasn't zooming at all, because these scopes, if you ever see my videos, there'll be a little box up in the top. There'll be a reticle in my main field of view, and then there'll be a reticle in that little box up top, and that little box is called picture-in-picture. Right. And what it is it's doubling the magnification of your field of view. So if my field of view is 3-power, that's my main field of view. I have a reticle in there in my main field of view. That's going to be 6-power. If I take that to 4, that's going to be 8. So you don't have to zoom. You have that reticle in that little box. So you got your main field of view. You're you're trailing a coyote, stops. When I bear down in, I'll just look up in that picture-in-picture and really place that shot where I want it.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that picture-in-picture is a really nice feature, and it's on.
Mine's always on.
Well, I'm saying it's probably on like 90% of like the scopes that are out there now
That you could buy.
Yeah, they're all running.
So that's almost
that
like a standard feature then.
I want to say, yeah, I've never been behind a scope that didn't have it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a really good feature too. So,
cool.
But yeah.
Pretty interesting.
But thermal hunting, you're not out there to be doing long range shooting. So you want to put that call out and use that call to get them to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, speaking of that, what's the longest shot? What's the longest you've ever killed one? Do you know?
437 yards.
There you go.
And that was with a 384 unit, pure luck. Nothing but luck.
Just send it.
That scope there now, it's like I don't know, I told you guys earlier, it has a rangefinder on it, and it also has a ballistic calculator. So this scope now gives me the drop. Yeah. As soon as and it's instant. It gives me the drop. 500 yards, it'll give me a drop. 700 yards, it'll give me the drop. And it's super accurate. It really is, but it's kind of like cheating. Like before, I had to know what my bullet drop was for the gun and go off of that. So I did it 400. I shot a coyote at 100 yards, and then the second coyote ran out to 400 and something yards. I didn't know what it was, because at that time I didn't even have a rangefinder. I'm just familiar with that field, so I knew it was in that 400 yard range, and just from being familiar with that property so much, and I hit it, thumped it, it ran down and died, and I'm like, no crap. So
that's
I ranged
a hell of a shot.
It was pure luck.
Seriously, yeah,
pure luck.
Regardless, holy shit.
But since I got this scope, it was pretty cool. I was on my AR setup, and then I had my buddy on this setup, and it was the first time we got to check that bullet drop feature, the ballistic calculator. We had a double, and it's on my Instagram and Facebook and stuff. We had a double come in at 376 yards, and I told my buddy, I was like, try that rangefinder out. So he gets the drop on it, and they both stop side by side, and we both smoked both of them.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Huh.
What's your furthest shot?
Probably mid-2s. Yeah. I don't have a LRF on my gun.
We normally don't.
We don't. Yeah. I don't shoot long range.
Right.
Most
we'll
of the
sit
time.
there and try to get them in.
Yeah, right. As close as you can. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, if we say like in that instance where I just said we shoot one at 100, and that one runs out, it's fair game. We're having some fun.
Yeah.
You know, if it stops,
Right,
you know,
right.
that's one thing you won't see too many videos of us. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I can't hit a coyote on the run. I've hit them. I can't hit them, though. That's luck. You know, it's pure luck. So we always tell people that are hunting with us, we ain't shooting them on the run. I don't care if it's running away from you after you shot. Just
Let them stop.
let them stop.
Yeah.
I
Right.
could probably
Let
call
them
it
stop,
back.
or we've called plenty of them back
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the shot.
I mean, they could run
get another
600
Well, like
yards.
you said, they don't even know where the shot's coming from.
Yep.
Half
Yeah.
the time, no, they don't. So it's I mean, that's a really cool feature to have, but it's I knew as soon as I got it, I was like, this thing's gonna cost me more money in ammo. Flinging lead out there, but yeah, it's
It's good for a dog that comes out at that 300-400 yard range, that sits on the edge of the field. You know he's not coming.
because
You
that
get
happens a lot.
a full
Yeah.
moon night, which we absolutely tell ourselves all the time, we're not going to hunt on a full moon, and we're out there. I can promise you, we do not have successful hunts on a full moon.
That's
It just
and that's
doesn't
a
work.
big topic with like across.
So what is your favorite?
dark?
Dark with
Well-
about a 10-mile-an-hour wind.
Yep.
A steady
Yeah,
wind.
Yes, steady wind. You want again, this is our opinion. What works for us? Because the moon,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
moon thing is a huge conversation.
Moon
People,
phases.
Some guys have
people
the
love
best
it.
luck on that full
People
moon.
love it. And I'm like, have at it, buddy.
We get so many coyotes that'll just come to the edge
the
of the
woodline.
field, sit. Because they can see.
Yeah.
They're not
True.
coming down there if they can't
I had
see
a
other
coyote
dogs
at the
or
edge of the
whatever.
field crying because it was like walking back and forth, and it was so bright out. I know it couldn't see me. I was like in a shadow. It's just sitting there crying, wanting to come out, and it's just like whimpering and it just would not come out. And with these, we don't shoot a lot into the woods. Not very often. We just shoot into the woods because these bullets, they touch a branch, they explode.
Right.
So it's like we try to get them out into the fields, but that's a huge topic with the coyote hunters is a full moon, and that is definitely our answer. We do not like a full moon, but we probably hunt every damn full moon.
Can't kill them if you ain't hunting.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We're still out there, but man, does it. And it's not. I'm not saying the coyotes aren't active with the full moon. They are. They'll go out in the mountain. It's bribing them to commit into that field to that what you're throwing at them. If anything, we kill probably more coyotes walking into the field that they're already out there mousing than we do actually calling them in when a full moon. But maybe
And
we're
that's
just
where your
doing
helmet
something wrong.
setup comes
Yeah.
into play.
Yeah.
We see a lot of coyotes
Yeah.
walking in, or you're already one step ahead of
sense.
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Know where you need to get.
Yeah.
Do you think barometric pressure and that affects them like it does
The red moon.
cold?
or
Yeah, like
something
cold
that.
fronts and that, like for deer movement. And, I mean, you see. I've been fishing once before. I can remember that there was a storm coming, and we were trout fishing. And right before this rain came up the valley, the fish were hitting like crazy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the rain came, and obviously it was raining, it stopped, but even like right after it, we didn't catch shit after that.
Right.
But leading up to it, man, it was on fire.
I'm sure it does because these coyotes. I mean, we do it all the time, and it probably is the barometric pressure having a lot to do with it. But we'll just go out some nights and we'll just be like, man, it is perfect. It is like the perfect steady wind. It is not dark out. We're on coyotes. We're in good territory. We can't. I mean, I just went. I think it was 3 weeks without hearing a howl.
Yeah.
So you get times like that are very tough, and that might be the barometric pressure because I've looked at it in the past and tried to, that first year we killed 105, I was trying to write stuff down and trying to pay attention to stuff, but it's tough.
Yeah.
It really
yeah,
is.
it'd be a lot of
tough to-
documentation trying
Yeah.
to follow that.
It
Yeah.
is. It's tough to keep up with, especially working full time, coming home hunting, trying
Yeah.
to make the wife happy. Go out, hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Absolutely.
It makes it tough. Well, buddy, you either one, you got any more questions
No.
you want to
I
run
don't.
by?
We covered a lot of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we-
you
that
took
was-
a lot out of my mouth, too.
Definitely a
Not
lot
in a
of-
rude way, just the stuff that I had in mind. It was just like, well, Chris got it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in.
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah.
I've
You guys gotta come out.
never ever.
Yeah, that'd be a
coyote.
blast.
I've never done it
Super cool.
ever. I've wanted to.
Yeah, you
I've
guys-
never done it.
So it's funny. We've been to Illinois 3 years. and I could have been, after this year, I could have been 2 for 3 in Illinois with coyotes in archery.
Yeah.
I got one last year. It was a big one. It was down the bottom. And then I had another one come through, some past me, right at 15 yards. I was like, God, can't kill a goddamn deer in Illinois, but by hell, I'll kill coyotes all day long.
Yeah, so
know?
I should have, and definitely could have killed one on our Ohio lease. I posted a video of them in front of me this past deer season. I wouldn't do it because I had an iron wheel broadhead on. Out of an Ultra Arrow. So I got like $100 arrow.
Yeah, that's an expensive guy.
I'm not shooting this guy with this. It's not happening. I was like, keep going, bud. You keep walking.
Yep.
Me and the wife, we were archery hunting this year, and she was using a crossbow this year, and I had already tagged out, and I'm sitting in a stand with her, and we see this doe come running, and it's prime rut, and I'm like, here it is. He's right behind her. She said, it's a coyote. Well, they blow past us. I mean, they blew right past us. And I'm like, crap. I'm like, this thing's going to eat me alive. So I get on my phone, and there's an app on the phone, and I just start playing this rabbit. And I'm sitting there. I'm like cupping my hand to try to echo it down into the valley that they ran into. 25 minutes later, I didn't have the call on. I'd look over, and there's that coyote peeking up over, looking where that sound was coming from, and he had walked out where that deer come from originally. Well, I put a pup distress on right after that, and here 2 of them come right around. We smoked them.
Damn. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
they're sitting there in archery season to start putting
there's apps on
calls on.
Yeah. Well, let me give you some of my advice.
Okay.
This happened in Illinois with the phone.
Yeah.
So, likewise, we have a coyote pool during archery season. Everybody puts in $5, whoever gets first coyote takes the pot. Well, I'm sitting in a tree stand, and I saw this coyote come down out of the field. He come through the bottom. He hops across the creek. Well, I didn't want to move because I knew he was going to see me. Well, when he come down, he could either came toward me or he was going to go away. He went away, and I'm like, perfect. So I get on my phone, I get the app out, and I hit that rabbit, and I was going to put my phone in my pocket. Mistake I made, I didn't give him enough time to go far enough out.
Okay.
I hit that, I put it in my pocket, and I slid it in like this, and I went to grab my bow, and he is running straight down the trail, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me.
He beat you.
He beat me.
Yeah.
Well, grab the bow and see what you could do, because there's nothing else I can try. Like,
right.
You're either going to get him or you're not.
Right.
I might have grabbed the bow and got to here, and he seen me, stopped, and gone. I mean, they got eyes and a nose.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy how good.
I've only killed one in archery season, and I had I was just getting up into the stand, and I had put out some buck urine, and the bottle was empty. So I was like, I'm going to put it in my pocket. I just threw it on the ground right in front of my stand, and I'm sitting up there, and I see this coyote coming, and he's trotting on a line that's going to come right in front of my stand, and he's trotting along, and he hit that bottle and just stopped dead. Like he was kind of like he almost skidded, like passed it up, and he stopped and come back and just stuck his nose down on a bottle, and he's sniffing it, and I just drew and just drilled him right between the ears.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
We get a lot of coyotes and scrapes all the time.
Yeah.
And they're marking scrapes.
Yeah.
Huh. All the time.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're pretty
We got
cool
some
animals.
tips to help with trying to get that black one now.
Yeah, make some scrapes.
Yeah.
That black one would be a good mount for you.
I know.
That's it, yeah.
I know. I'll show you pictures when we're done. Yeah. I mean, he just ran past the Tacticam. I got to download an HD photo of him. I got a bunch of pictures of him. It'd be nice to get.
We'll have to get you on thermal to go kill him.
Go kill him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get together and try to. I've never done it before. I've never coyote hunted.
boy.
So.
I killed a bunch of them right by your house.
Yeah.
Right up on that steep hill. Oh,
I
that is
know.
a hill.
Yeah.
I don't hunt it that often. Fat.
Dude, you should just tell me. You can take my Ubco bike.
There
I'll
you go.
give you that. And you take that up there, dude.
Take the mini
Sitting right in
truck.
my garage. Take my mini truck. my little Chinese mini truck.
You could set up right in the bed of the mini
You
truck.
look like a terrorist.
Oh yeah, it
Bed
would.
raise up.
Wait, we showed up to a place, remember? We put you in the bed of the truck before?
Yeah.
We showed up to a place, they're like, people, we drove like 40 minutes to go see this property. And we get there, and it's somebody's yard, and I'm like, I can't hunt coyotes here. It's just like there's nowhere to even see. You could see like 40 yards everywhere.
We were
'cause
in
it's
between
like
two houses.
and it's like 2 valleys, and I'm like, get in the bed of the truck.
That's all we could do.
Yeah. Yeah, that the back of his farm, all the ways up in the back. If during gun season, if I walk out in the garage, get on that e-bike I can be up there and from my garage to the back top of his farm in, I don't know, 8 minutes.
Oh man, yeah,
roughly. I mean, that bike, it goes.
yeah, that's a hill.
Yeah, it's got a gun rack on the front too, so you can you ever want to take that up there and go kill them. It'll save you. It's good for old guys.
That's another thing PA needs to get better with too is the bike laws, but I think we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, on public ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, that's them bikes they're I think they're super effective, especially for like that.
Yeah.
But my poor truck would get so beat up hauling that thing around. It gets beat up enough now putting a tripod in it.
Yeah.
I went from putting coyotes in the bed of the truck. Now I got a hitch hauler for the bed, so treating the Toyota a little bit better.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which so what Toyota do you have?
Tacoma.
I just got a new one. 24.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Out there?
the 24 Tacoma's
Okay.
mine. Yeah. I traded in the Tundra. I went up to get the oil changed on the Tundra and left with the Tacoma.
He
Really?
just buys a new truck when he goes to change his oil. That's all.
I
He's
just-
one of them guys.
I just lost my warranty. I'm sad, but that's why I bought a Toyota.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yep.
I'm at 102,000. I plan on putting about 200 more on it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
I'd try to say the
He
same
would never.
thing, but
He
nah,
could never.
I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to keep this one. I love this
I'm
thing.
going to pay it off and keep it.
Yeah.
I love it. I've loved the truck. I put all these miles on it, and you're going to love the Tacoma, man.
Dude, so
It's
far
hard
I
going
do.
from the full size to the little one, but I can't go back to a full size.
Yeah,
after
it
the
was, but
drivability of it.
I feel like it drives nicer for me compared to the one I had. I just feel like it drives nicer. Gas mileage is definitely way better.
You just lost your center console.
You know what? That's
basically
yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
really. I mean, I still have plenty of headroom, leg room,
My
everything.
Tacoma treats me more of a truck than any of my full-size trucks have ever.
Yeah.
It does everything I want it to. I don't, and granted, I mean, I'm not pulling stuff, but I used to have a side-by-side Razor. I hauled it with this Tacoma. I don't have it anymore, but anymore it does everything I need it to, if not more. It's like a little side-by-side itself.
Yeah.
It goes everywhere.
Yeah, the one thing I'm looking forward to is just the fact of it having a better turning radius and, the minimal amount of off-roading I'll do in it, like out on the lease and that. I think there's a place it'll be easier to get that Tacoma in than it would my Tundra, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're
But,
nice.
But so far I'm enjoying. I mean, I liked my Tundras. I had 3 of them in a row, and then I don't know, when they came out with that new Tacoma, I just wanted to try one out.
Yeah, that's.
And there's so much aftermarket shit you can buy from them. Stop telling your mother that I'm doing
I haven't
stuff
said
in the
anything
truck.
else. She's going to find out anyways. And you don't ask. You just do it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's a lot of cool aftermarket stuff for them. Now my wife has a 2020 Pro 4Runner in that army green.
Yeah.
She will not get rid of it. She loves that thing.
Yeah,
It's a pretty cool. We just put brand new tires on it today for her. So
Did you
she's
go
happy.
Kendos again?
No, she hated those.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Too noisy.
Vibration in them on that 4Runner. I ran them on my Tundra with no problem, but on her 4Runner, she wanted an aggressive look. So we tried them, and it just didn't work out. So I ended up putting Generals on today. I think General Grabber AT3s.
AT2s or
ATXs.
ATXs.
ATXs, it's called. Yeah. It's a nice looking tire, and she loves it already. So as long as she's happy,
Yeah.
But that's cool. So you drive. That's one of our sponsors is Toyota. So
Yeah,
you're
it's-
driving Toyota.
nice.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't think my wife drives a Toyota. I drive one. I don't think we'll ever.
That's
switch, man.
all I'll ever
Yeah.
own is Toyotas.
It's not even that. I don't know if it's just like down at Greensburg. They treated me so well with like any issue I had was not.
That's who our sponsor
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Is Greensburg
Toyota
Toyota.
Greensburg, yeah.
Thank you. But they did. They treated
Yeah.
me very well. I mean, every issue I had was it was effortless to get fixed. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was very sad. I'm at 102,000. I had a certified pre-owned that I bought with 8,000 and just lost the I just lost the warranty 2,000 miles ago. So
Yeah, one thing about them up there, though, they do take care of you if you need something.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about them.
Yep. So, well, what we usually end with, we ask our guests, we can do, what's your dream hunt?
My dream hunt.
If you can go anywhere,
Yeah.
money's not an object. Time, nothing.
I guess there's a lot of stuff I want to hunt.
No, I know.
but I would have to say, just because I do enjoy calling. I think it'd be really cool to call a mountain lion in.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
That'd be a cool hunt.
That would be.
There's some people doing it right now, and
The hell do you call them in with?
some prey distress, and I don't know, man. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
I have a guy that,
Seen that
comes
tail
hunting
behind-
with
oh.
me. He's a guide in Utah, and he runs dogs for mountain lion, bobcat, bear, all out in Utah. And I told him, he's like, you got to come out. And I was like, yeah, I want to come out and see how you do your, the guiding and all that. And I was like, I don't even want to hunt. And I was like, I'll just come out. He's like, no, you got to hunt. I was like, well, if I'm hunting a mountain lion, I was like, I want to call it. And he's like, well, you're going by yourself.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm thinking. Like, that's some crazy shit.
But that would be a wild experience.
Better be sitting in like a cage or something. You call him in that he can't get into.
Because Utah just released, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's an effect that they're just like free, like how our coyote hunting is here, and that's how their mountain lion hunting is now. That they could just kill them.
Wow.
So I think it'd be really cool to call one of those in. So yeah, that's my answer on that. It would be an exciting hunt.
Cool. What about you?
Mine would be Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah, Alaskan grizzly bear.
Alaskan grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave. I'll call the mountain lion. I don't want nothing to do with
fly
one
in.
of them.
Rifle or bow?
Definitely a bow.
Definitely bow.
Definitely
Yeah.
a bow. I think that would be a
With a
thrill of a
sniper
lifetime.
behind you.
For sure.
A guy with a 45-70 behind you. Yeah.
I would take that.
That's one animal that just knows you're there and he don't care and he's going to want to kill you anyhow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to go anywhere. There's a grizzly there.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I love PA. We don't got nothing that's going to kill us here.
No.
No, we
Black
don't.
bear.
I mean, it could
Maybe.
possibly, but your house dog will kill you before that thing
That's
will.
true.
Yeah.
True.
That's what bringing him here from Utah. We were sitting up on a corn row. We had corn to our back in a field out in front of us, and I caught a coyote like 10 yards right beside us. And he was like, "You're out here doing this by yourself?" I'm like, "You're running mountain lions up in a tree by yourself." I'm like, "You got stuff that can kill you out there." I said, "These little things, these flea bags ain't gonna hurt you."
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
I get, he does it all the time, so it's just like, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
You get used to it, I guess.
He's an interesting individual too. A really cool guy. Just out coyote hunting, the people you meet, man, the things you get to do, just doing stuff you love, and yeah, hopefully I get to go out to Utah with him.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
heck
Yeah, I've never hunted outside of PA, anything. So
Yeah.
eventually I'll
Yeah, you
venture
got-
out
I've been
there.
trying to get him to Illinois for the last 3 years,
Yeah.
and I'll be going out March 2nd. Just letting you know again.
It'll
So you
spoil
don't
you,
forget.
man. You start hunting, you get into them Midwestern bigger bucks, then you come back to PA, and sometimes it's like, I don't know if I want to shoot that.
You don't want
And
to
there's
take.
so
you
many
don't
coyotes
wanna
out there.
You don't want to take me to Illinois. Because 120-inch buck really gets me down.
Yeah.
Really, really does.
Well, that
I'm a
happens.
sucker for 120.
That happens because we had a good friend of ours go with us to Illinois this year. We were hunting with an outfitter, and he had never killed a big deer. And 120 to him, that's a big deer.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting in camp, and he says first night, he said, "Look, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what a big deer looks like. What's your fine?" He said, "It's $500. He said, "I might as well just pay you right now. I'm just telling you, I might as well just pay you because I'm probably going to shoot something that's not big enough." Sure as shit the next day. I think, was it
first
second
day?
Was it first day or second?
No, it was the second day.
Second day.
It was the second day, I think.
We're sitting there. Phone service is pretty spotty on the farm we're on. My phone goes off. It's him, and it's a picture. He says, "Is this deer big enough?" So I look at the picture, and I reply back, "No, it's not." And then he just texts back, "Damn." Okay. So then next thing you know, you got them 3 little bubbles going across. I know something else is coming. It's like 15 minutes later. All of a sudden, there's a picture of another buck. How about this one? I said, "I don't think so." I says, "He's probably too small." And I sent it back. And I guess it took too long to get
Too
there
late.
because the next thing I get is he's like, well, too late. And it was a picture of that deer laying there dead. I said, well, there's that then. And so
That's me. I'm a sucker for them 120-inch deer. I love them.
yeah. Oh, he was happy.
So
Oh,
he
yeah,
got
it
the
was a
first
good
one
buck.
for the belt. I mean,
I think his scored
Yeah.
121 or something.
It was
like
a good
that.
buck
Yeah.
for him too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was happy. He said, that's
Absolutely.
my biggest deer I ever killed, so I'm happy.
Absolutely.
You know, but
That's what matters.
yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter what you're hunting.
it's
just,
the excitement level.
Yeah,
That's it.
100%.
You know,
Right.
I always say if it trips your trigger, shoot it. Like
Yeah.
it got you excited. That's what we do it for.
Right.
You
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. So, well, before we get out of here, I know I think you said it earlier in the podcast, but let everybody know that's listening or watching where they can check out your content. Because I think, you're listening out there. These people definitely want to go out and watch it. They gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool ass stuff you guys are putting out. Seriously, like it's really cool. I personally enjoy watching every one of the videos.
I got stuck scrolling on it today at work.
Yeah.
Over 'cause we were,
It's
or like-
addicting to
yeah.
just to watch them. I couldn't imagine if I went out there with you one time, I'd probably
We'd be
buy
doing
a
it all
new
the
gun
time.
and a scope.
It's fun.
Yeah,
And that's typically what happens when we
Yeah.
take people.
yeah.
They're
you
going-
get hooked.
Yeah.
You definitely need to
There's
go,
a lot
though.
of wives out there that don't like me. I know. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So where can people check everything out? that you have?
So Keystone Sportsman is on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. My name, Darren Hudock, on Facebook. Those I try to post, all our hunts on those.
Right.
They also, Mike Squires, he posts some videos, and we got another guy, Doug Tolbert, and then my buddy Aaron that hunts with us also. They all post videos too. So
Okay.
we all post videos. The actual YouTube side of it, and we every now and then we try to get some maybe an informational hunt, an actual 10-minute long video out that'll be on YouTube. So
that's cool.
A lot of that stuff's on YouTube.
So if people got questions about, hey, what do you think of this scope or this gun or whatever?
Absolutely. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. The Messenger on TikTok is kind of
It's weird.
it's that, and there's so many people on there. TikTok, it's crazy as TikTok blew up for me with it, but I can't show the kill.
Yeah,
So it's like I
right.
don't even understand how it does so good, but it does. So but I probably won't reach back on as much on TikTok as I will Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
But
right.
any questions, we all do. We love teaching. We love helping people get successful, hoping that we can maybe take a few year learning curve off of somebody that we struggled for years to learn how
Right.
to kill them, and was very unsuccessful. Now we're successful, and I'm not keeping any secrets. I just had a guy comment on that last video I posted and was like, he puts music on here to hide the sound. I'm not. I do
Nothing
this.
to hide.
No, I got nothing to hide. You ask me what I will tell anybody
Right.
anything I'm doing.
They're either going to come or they're not going to come.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like turkey hunting. You can yelp, you can cluck, you can purr.
just, gotta
Just
throw the
because
right
you can do
sounds.
that doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're going to kill a gobbler.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right time, right place, right sounds. They're coming.
Main
Makes
thing is
perfect
the
sense.
wind, and we didn't dive too much into all that, but any questions anybody has, they can reach out to any of us. We're all more than happy to help anybody.
Cool. Well, Darren, Mike, appreciate you guys being on here.
Thank you for
Definitely
having
have
us.
to have you guys again sometime, and
yeah.
definitely need to get out there.
Yeah.
with
You guys
give
gotta
it a
come
try.
out.
Yeah,
We'll have to come
sure.
out.
Yeah.
We'll bring a camera out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Any
little
fun.
video snips and stuff like that.
Anytime, you guys are
Awesome.
welcome.
Yeah.
Cool.